Dear brothers and sisters, get you a bit closer. Today we are going to talk about twin flames, unconditional love, and ego death. So, some of you may know that I was in a twin flame relationship. There's a lot of information out there about it, and there's a lot of misconceptions as well. And today I'm going to share more of my own perspective and own experience about it, and the downloads that I got about this connection through my own experience, of course. And we can actually start over there that how do you know which information is true and which information is not true? There's nothing actually that can tell us what is the truth and what is untruth except our own heart, which signifies to us actually what resonates with me and with my own story and what's not. So it's not about true and false, right and wrong. It's about what is resonating with my heart, with my heart's desire, with my heart and mind coherency, and with my own personal story. Personally, I can tell you that whenever you are experiencing a person that is talking about anything, claiming that he or she has the only truth, this is already a red flag. In addition, when there's a person who is talking about his or she's own achievement in this and that field, right? Or if we're talking about twin flames, people that come out with this is how things are, and I am the only person who have this information. This should also be a red flag. Why? Because this signifies a very strong ego. Now, there's nothing wrong with the ego, but it comes in contradiction to the story of twin flames, because the story of twin flames is the story of the ego death. We'll speak more about this in a second, but let's first ask ourselves, what is the death of an ego, right? So what is the ego? The ego is my perception, how I perceive my own individuality, my identity in this reality. And we already know that identities change as much as my concepts about reality changes, as much as my own consciousness expands. Therefore, my identity shifts constantly. The more people do it, the more their identity shifts. And actually what is happening is that less identity is present, meaning we are not fixated on a certain story. I'm not anymore an Israeli or Jewish or a husband or a father or a high-tech manager. These are stories. These are concepts that has to do with singularity. And it's not that I'm not these things, but I'm much more than those things. Therefore, at one point, I stop identifying myself as such. I'm not anymore a husband. I'm not anymore Jewish. I'm more than all of this. And because I'm so much more, it's ridiculous to start telling what I am. Rather, just be. Not telling what I am, but rather projecting what I am. So, when we go through transformation, then we shed those boundaries, those limitations that the identity of the ego has. So we are calling it ego death, and we go. This is an ongoing process, right? We reach the limitation of the ego, We have a soul that develops and it reaches the boundaries that the ego confines it within because it identifies itself with singularities in life. And in order for the transformation of the soul and the continuation of the story, we need to break through this confinement of the ego. So the ego must die. This is what we call ego death, the death of an ego. And then we start telling ourselves another story. And we reach later on in our life another point where we understand, okay, so I just developed another type of an ego, maybe reduced than the former one, but still an identity. Now I need to go through this again. I need to shed this again. I need to go through another ego death. All right, so this is what defines true, or what defines just the story of twin flames. I almost wanted to say true twin flamers. The more, when you are on the path of the twin flame journey, then this is an ongoing story with you shedding your ego. Why? Because the ego confines you. Because you need to master masculinity and femininity, and you need to bring it under union, which is also called Tantra in Sanskrit. Tantra is the union of your yogi forces, right? If you have mastered the feminine power and mastered the masculine power, which are the two forces in reality, the plus and the minus, the dark and the light, you master those, you bring them under conjunction, and you allow them to mix and to mingle while they are standing as singularities, as individuals. This is maybe something for another video. But you develop a union and that is expanding between your masculine side and your feminine side, between those two energies. So in order to get there, you need to shed your identity again and again and again, because you discover that masculinity and femininity are way grander than the names that you have given your concepts, which is friendships, which is religion, which is relationships. It encompasses those and everything else. Everything of what I just said, or actually everything, every concept in this reality has masculine and feminine inside of it, has plus and minus inside of it. So you have to shed your ego, these limiting thoughts and limiting concepts of who you are, to become grander and grander, and to encapsulate and embody both of those singular forces, masculine and feminine. So, my own personal story with twin flames is undergoing those stages that you all know, right? Starting with the Big Bang and amazing connection, amazing sensuality and sexuality, discovering of self. But then what I understand from the process is that I and my counterpart, my divine counterpart, we became one during that, so to say, honeymoon phase. We became one body, one soul, one motion, one concept. We, or I should rather say I speak for myself, I could not identify myself anymore from my divine counterpart. And this is where polarities have switched. And once the polarities have switched, we had to start separating. And we had to start coming back to the sense of self. Who am I? Who am I truly? What is mine? What is not mine? What is my identity? And where do I want to shed my identity and become more than that? And this is the phase that we all know as runner and chaser. And during that phase, you constantly go through that understanding. Who am I? And what are my boundaries? Because when we talk about ego and self, then we talk about boundaries and limitations. And in order to go beyond the limitations, I first need to understand what are my limitations, what are my boundaries, how to set healthy boundaries, how to accept who I am, which means how to accept my boundaries, and when and how to know to open it with trust and allowing something else to come inside of me or to grow outside of my own self. So that has been an amazing journey. And because you remember that divine counterpart and your inside, your passion, your divine light wants to connect back and experience again that honeymoon phase, then you always try to go back to union. But that union doesn't exist outside anymore. That union is inside. And this is the realization. You don't need to get to union. You need to realize that you're already in union. This is a major part. Realization means I've stopped seeking. I've stopped looking at the outside. I've stopped reading another book or listen to another podcast. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but those are in the end distractions. They give you information, but they don't anchor your experience in your body, in this reality. Only you can do that. No book, no audiobook, no outside experience. It's an inside experience. It's a realization to make it real. And you make it real by embodying it, by knowing it, and by expressing it. That's how it goes from the inside out. You bring that realization to reality. And once this is happening, then you find a new connection to your union, which is on the inside. And you need to constantly remind yourself that you are in that union, because again and again, your perception, your reality, or the reality that you start projecting, which is a new reality, will counterbalance your old self. People from your past, situation from your past, memories, they will rise up or they will come out to meet you just to help you fortify your new concepts, your new realization, your new reality. And the more you encounter them, the more you realize, I have to set my boundaries. I have to set, to tell the world and myself, this is who I am, this is the new self, and the new self is in union. There is no doubting anymore the union. And there will be moments that doubt will creep in, just for you to fix those holes. You can see this union, these doubting moments as holes, right, in a Swiss cheese. And you need to fill them by yourself, with your own knowingness, with your own capability, with your own awareness. You fill them, you make them whole, and you remind yourself, there's no doubt, I am in union. Now once this is happening, in order for you to come into physical union with your twin, then your other counterpart has to reach the same point. Now, this is where control issues again are coming into the picture. Control issues are expressed very much in ego and the expression of ego. And control issues will come in a way of frustration if you are starting to embody union and you don't realize or you don't understand why your counterpart is not there. Where is he? Where is she? I am in union. I feel that union. Why aren't you there? Why aren't we in a physical union? Because control is a major issue. It's actually the most significant issue that we have as humans. How much can I control? Who can I control? And the answer is no one. I can only control my reactions. This is the only thing that I can control. I cannot control other people. I cannot control other people's reactions. And whenever I am in a place of frustration or anger or disappointment that my counterpart, my divine counterpart, is not there because I don't experience the physical union, then that's again, just like that hole in the Swiss cheese, that's again an issue that I have to deal with. Control, the self-control issue. Because none of us have the ability to influence somebody else's path to realization or achieving union in a union. We don't have any power over that. And understanding that, realizing that, embodying it and practicing it, this is actually what it means to be in union. It's the self-union that one is experiencing. And again, this is shifting left and right again and again, and we always have to stabilize that, to keep believing in that. So how does self-love and unconditional love come to the picture? Unconditional love is the love that has absolutely no control and the love that accepts absolutely no control. This is why it's unconditional. There are no conditions. I express my love to you and I don't have any conditions to what comes back or to how you should behave or be in order for you to receive my love. And that is a key point, because this is what sets us apart from humans and divine. As humans, we can touch momentarily those unconditional love moments. The divine, compassion, God, they are that ocean of unconditional love permanently. It's very difficult to touch and to stay in unconditional love, because think about what it means. It means I don't have any conditions, I don't have any frustrations, I don't have any expectations. I am just who I am, just expressing who I am, and whatever the reaction is, whatever is the reflection, it's the same for me. I'm okay with a negative reflection and I am okay with a positive reaction. I'm not going to close off myself and turn off my light because of a negative reaction, and I'm not gonna jump and suffocate any positive reaction to who I am. I am just who I am, and I'm okay with that, and I'm okay with you not being okay with that. This is unconditional love, and to practice it constantly every second of the day, it's very challenging. This is what we can feel when we have children, for example. We touch again and again unconditional love. Now, this applies to your own children. Now try to apply unconditional, or practice unconditional love to children not of your own, and you will already see the difficulty, the challenge. Try to apply and express unconditional love to any person and see how challenging it is. Try to express and hold unconditional love to people that have hurted you and see how challenging this is. Now, what sets the twin flame journey aside from all of this, or what is actually signifying the twin flame love when it comes to unconditional love, the twin flame journey to unconditional love, is the fact that your lover, that your divine counterpart, is the one that hurted you the most. And you just cannot go away. You cannot just turn away and go and run. You cannot just ignore. You cannot just hold on to the negative feelings, to the hurt, to the shame, to the guilt. You cannot. Because twin flame love is so strong, it's so abundant and unique, that again and again you will feel that pull towards your divine counterpart. Again and again you will feel that magnetism, that love. And you will have to face the hurt. You will have to face the abuse or whatever happened to you. You will have to face that. Why? Because you just cannot look around. You cannot turn your back to that. You cannot pretend otherwise. The twin flame journey is so strong, the twin flame love is so strong that it will pull you again and again to find a way to bridge the hurt, to bridge the gap between you and your divine counterpart. And therefore it will encourage you and empower you again and again to find unconditional love. This is how you have the connection between twin flame, unconditional love, and ego, or the death of an ego. Because as long as the ego is there, you will hold on to hurt, you will hold on to guilt, you will hold on to shame. You won't be able to find unconditional love, and you won't be able to find union in yourself, and you won't be able to find love for your divine counterpart. But because it's not a one-way street, because you always are attracted back to that story, attracted back to your counterpart, attracted again to find unism, you will again and again have to face the hurt. And when you have to face the hurt, you have to deal with your ego. And when you have to deal with your ego, you have to let it die and diminish and evaporate, so you can rise yourself again through unconditional love. What a magnificent story. Let's take a deep breath with that and just go and continue our life, because this is truly what is left, right? The only thing that you can do, again, is to take responsibility of your actions and your emotions and continue life and find love to yourself and express it. Thank you.